make sure to follow us on Instagram at Whistlethrowers. It's a great way to interact with our show. Our DMs are always open for questions, topic discussions, and more. You will be able to find our new episodes and other announcements there. In terms of the team, that shows that there's a hierarchy with the players.
Thanks for tuning back into the Whistlethrowers podcast. This is Jack Mubarak, joined by
Jack Slaymaker.
And Aiden will be here in a little bit. He's playing flag football right now, so he'll join us in the middle of the episode. So we could start with the NFL. I think it's easy to start with the Monday night game because I didn't expect that coming. We probably saw the end of the Bills season right there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there was a lot to unpack from that. Stephon Diggs got completely shut down by PS2. One catch, 11 yards for every time he matched up against him. Josh Allen still had another stinker. I don't know what is up with him. Me personally, I'm kind of sick of pretending that he's a transcendent quarterback in this league, especially after his play this year. And I haven't really felt that way since the divisional game versus the Chiefs. Yeah. In all honesty. I think their season is shot because if you look at their schedule, it's the third ranked hardest to finish. Yeah. And even the teams with negative records are the Chargers, which is not an easy win. Yeah. And they got Patriots and divisional team. They got Dolphins. They got the Chiefs, I believe.
Yep, they play the Chiefs, Dallas, the Jets, and the Eagles.
That is not easy at all.
No. And with how they've been playing against lesser opponents, that looks way, way tougher than it should. I feel like they were projected to have maybe 3, but you're hoping for 2 or 1 losses at this point in the year, and you're already at 5.
Yeah.
You can sneak into the playoffs. There's obviously that chance because they do have the ability to win out, and I think winning out would put them in a playoff spot pretty firmly, but that's not realistic.
No, I think the Browns are going to drop out.
Yeah.
There is aren't the Steelers and what's the other team that's 6-3? It's the Steelers and the Browns, right?
Yeah.
So one of them is going to be 7-3, and if you ask me, I don't think either of those teams look like they're 7-3.
Agreed.
So that's a weird one there. You got the Bengals, you got the Texans who are looking great. So it's not going to be easy. If you ask me, I think it's going to come down to external help if you get into the postseason this year.
Right. Yeah. The thing that hurts Buffalo too is they don't play Houston, Cleveland, or Pittsburgh, which would help them. And they played Cincinnati and lost that game, so they already lost that tiebreaker. But it sucks for them that they don't have other games that they could take tiebreakers on. Yeah,
and I don't know. I had James Cook in fantasy, and he almost got the job done for me. Mm-hmm. But he looked like the only positive producer on that offense the other night. And McDermott sat him the whole first quarter because he had 1 fumble. And
I know, that was so dumb.
And in return, he got 10 yards per carry to finish the game, 12 touches, 120 yards or so. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, total on the game, he averaged 9.1 per carry on 12 attempts. I just don't understand what went through his head in saying, oh, 1 mistake, now you're done. It's but you're going to ride the quarterback out that long. And I understand the money differences, but there's just in terms of the team, that shows that there's a hierarchy with the players, which is not good. Mm-hmm. You don't see that anywhere else in terms of the top teams in the league. Everyone gives their guys second chances. If Swift fumbles, he's back out there on the next play. If you remember, what game was it when Gainwell fumbled? It was Washington Commanders. He fumbled twice or something, maybe just once. But Nick Sirianni had to answer questions all week about Gainwell and the fumbling. And Sirianni said he believed in him. Everyone called him crazy for that. And then in the Dallas game, opening drive, Gainwell scores the touchdown inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, it's not like he doesn't do that on a regular basis too. He's averaging 5-6 yards a carry through the season.
Yeah, and then 1 fumble. Yeah, which I know it's a backbreaker that early in the game, but you're not out of it.
No,
and there's a ton of time left, and for what was it 19 snaps? He was 19 consecutive snaps. He was on the sideline, I think.
Yeah, sounds about right.
19 consecutive offensive snaps, obviously.
Yeah.
which is ridiculous when you think about it, especially when you consider the fact that they weren't really moving the ball all that well and turning the ball over even without him on the field. So it made no sense. And honestly, James Cook is probably looking at Sean McDermott differently this week.
I would be, yeah.
Yeah, and probably a lot of other guys are too, because everyone on the team in terms of players is closer to James Cook than Sean McDermott.
Oh, I bet,
You know what I mean? So that was not a good move by Sean McDermott.
No, and it doesn't help. It's like salt on the wound that like they lost to Denver, like the laughing stock of the league, the way that they did. Right. Like, I don't want to give like too much credit to Denver. I mean, they're not as nearly bad as they were last year, and Russell Wilson's having like an efficient season. Yeah. And Javonte Williams went to work. The defense has been going to work, but like this is a team that you're supposed to beat by at least 2 scores.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
On paper.
I was impressed with Denver, to be honest, and I was impressed with how they moved the ball efficiently. And like, yeah, they ran into some troubles as well. Like, they weren't perfect, but I think at the end of the day, when they only turned the ball over one time to Buffalo's 4. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, wasn't that a special teams turnover, or am I wrong on that? It was.
Well, they botched like a snap one time on a field goal, and I don't know if that counted as a turnover.
Because I'm looking and like there were no fumbles from any of the skill position players. And Wilson didn't throw a pick, so I think that's what counted as the turnover. Yeah. So I think like I was impressed with them and their defense too. I was impressed. Like although the Bills have struggled this year, it's still impressive to slow down an offense with Allen and Diggs. And there's not much after that, although I really like Kincaid, although he didn't really do anything, I felt like, in this game.
Yeah, no one did. I think like the next best like offensive player was like Gabe Davis, and he didn't even really do that much.
I mean, Kincaid had 5 catches for 51. It's like, it's not bad, but you do want more. You expect more, I should say. And then Gabe Davis, I mean, the guy's annoying in fantasy.
Yeah, I missed him this whole year because how he was last year.
Yeah, and I'm like... I've just had receiver problems right now with like injuries and bye weeks. So like I've had Gabe Davis in for 2 or 3 straight weeks, and I've just been looking for the opportunity to get him out. Like, there's no one in waivers. First of all, there's no receiver to pick up.
Yeah, someone got Noah Brown.
Yeah, which is probably a good move. But I have Tank Dell, so I'm not too mad. I'm starting him.
I'm starting Nico too.
Yeah. Tank Dell's been doing really well. I benched him the day he went for like 30. And I lost by like 2 points.
Damn.
Yeah, I was pissed.
Aiden fucking beat me, and I sat B-Rob.
Yeah, right.
It's so fucked.
I know.
Could talk about the Colts and Patriots. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but Mac Jones threw one of the worst interceptions that I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. And like we talked about it early in the season, like we thought maybe his time in New England would be done, and then he played like a few good weeks and thought like, oh, he earned his spot back. But like now I don't really know. Yeah. No. I think he lost the fan base too in New England as well.
Yeah. The thing is, like, Mac Jones was 15 for 20, which is like, it's not bad, but you can't just box score watch with him too. Like, no. Like you were saying with that pick, I know like it wasn't his only mistake, but that was his biggest mistake. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, they weren't moving the ball down the field at all that game. And then they had that opportunity. The dude is, I mean, it was Gesicki, I'm pretty sure. Wide open. Yeah. Wide open. There was no excuse to not hit that throw, or at least give him a chance at the back of the end zone. And he underthrew him by, like, 15 yards. Mm-hmm. That's not even an exaggeration. Like, I think the guy caught it on, like, the 4-yard line.
Yeah.
So.
And he was, like, in the back of the end zone.
Yeah. Like, that's where the ball needed to be. And, I mean, if you're going to be a starting NFL quarterback, you need to make that throw. Even a backup, even a good backup, you need to make that throw. Mm-hmm. There's no excuse. And that was one of the worst interceptions I've seen in a long time. Yeah. The thing is, even like guys like Nathan Peterman get clowned because he had like the 5 interceptions in the half or whatever. Mm-hmm. But like they were bad throws, but also it wasn't like he was underthrowing anyone. He was kind of just making bad reads. That one, it's like you just pretty much went noodle arm. Like almost like he was scared to throw it in a way, which is like that's alarming. It's like I've used this term before. Like seeing ghosts as a quarterback is number one like red flag to get that guy out.
Mm-hmm.
And it like if you watch that play, it's his pocket wasn't clean. Like there was a rush, but he had the opportunity to step back and then plant. And he just kind of stepped back and just kind of like kept fading back when he made that throw. And it's like that's not going to get the job done. That's never going to be a good accurate throw.
Mm-hmm.
And like guys like Mahomes have all that arm magic and stuff, but when you watch him, he's always moving forward or to the side. He's never
leaning back
on his back foot. Like that's a number one. Do not do that for a quarterback.
Yeah, like I think they finished the season with him because like they got rid of Malik Cunningham.
Yeah,
like which seems like a dumb move, but like Zappy's like everyone knows Zappy is worse than Jones at this point. Yeah. And I don't know. I just think you try and trade or draft for someone in the next season.
Yeah, well, their draft pick is going to be good, and there are a couple good QBs I feel like coming out, and they're project guys, and like that's the thing. All these guys are. I mean, you look up Bryce Young was probably the best or one of the best QBs in college last year, and it didn't really pan out his first year. So it's a project that takes time. Like I think in terms of where the Patriots are going to be drafting, I think guys like Drake May. Like a Michael Penix.
Yeah.
Some guys you want to take a shot on. And who knows? I mean, even...
Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, right. Or if if Kirk Cousins wants to come back to Minnesota and they say yes, he's going to be ready week 1, that he wants to come back. And then Josh Dobbs says, I want to start a QB spot somewhere. Who knows? Maybe he becomes available and you can get him. Mm-hmm. So I think they have options. I think that's a good thing for New England. And they have cap space.
Yeah.
It's not like...
Because no one wants to go there.
Yeah, and they don't have anyone on the books for like $100 million, I don't think.
No.
So why not? I mean, you have the room and flexibility. You need a quarterback.
Yeah.
And I mean, they need a lot more than a quarterback too. So, but I think to start there, why not?
Yeah. I think this is a good time to move into the Vikings-Saints game.
Yeah.
Just talking about Dobbs.
Yeah.
I said last week, I think he's knocking on the door to being a starting quarterback in this league, and he continues to prove it in my mind.
Yeah, same.
I didn't watch this game, but I am seeing that Jameis Winston was in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you know if that was like...
I think Carr got hurt.
Oh, okay. I thought he got...
Because he wasn't playing bad when he got... benched. I know that he was like not good, but he was doing okay. So it wasn't like a performance thing. I'm pretty sure he hurt his ankle. That's been like nagging him.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Winston came in, and if there's that clip this week where he was like completely on the other side of the field and threw it to the opposite corner. Did you see that?
No, you're not talking about the Olave thing, right?
No.
Okay.
That was a pretty good throw. That Olave.
It was out of bounds though. Like he couldn't have got that even if he was in the spot.
Oh, I thought you were talking about his touchdown.
Oh no! I was talking about the ball that he was yelling at him for.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one. No. I'm talking. Who did he throw it to? It was a touchdown to some guy. I didn't know his name. A.T.
Perry. Yeah.
A.T. Perry. I never heard of him, but it was like the most miraculous throw you'd ever seen. Like it should have been intercepted, but Perry came down with it, and then he threw 2 other picks. So Winston is a good backup, but I think he would be better if you got him under control. Like if a coach could somehow do that,
which is very hard.
Yeah, I don't think he's a guy that you can get under control really.
No, he didn't have a bad stat line. He had threw 2 touchdowns, which I never thought I'd say he'd do this season. But talking about the Vikings, though, like they've impressed me a lot this year. They were 1-3 at one point. Now they're 6-4.
I'm pretty sure they were 1-4, and I've rattled off 5 straight.
Oh, even better. Yeah, that's just like a complete turnaround.
Yeah,
and like
they were 1-4. 5 straight.
They're still out Jefferson too, and you lose Cousins, and they still like managed to win 5 straight. Very impressed. Yeah, and like I don't know, like I get the sense they're one of the better run franchises in the league, just because like consistently they are always kind of there.
They're putting out a winning product consistently, and it's like it's not always the best, but it's a winning product.
Yeah,
they're honestly they're the Sixers of the NFL. They are.
I'd say the Bills, but...
No, I would say
actually
the Vikings. Because I feel like the Bills are closer to the Celtics, because the Bills actually did make the AFC Championship.
Okay.
They just can't get over the hump, really, for the ring. But Minnesota is like a regular season warrior in a way, and then out pretty early
Yeah.
in the playoffs. So
Mm-hmm.
I think Minnesota is a good comparison for the Sixers, but
Yeah.
there's nothing to be ashamed of in that. Like in saying that, you're putting out a winning product, and a lot of teams would kill to like make the playoffs the amount of times that the Vikings have.
Yeah.
And play in those big games and things. So.
So we can move into the Browns-Ravens game.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Great game. Yeah. Game of the week for sure.
Right.
So Browns lost Watson.
Yeah.
For the year.
So I guess I heard he injured himself in the first quarter.
Yeah, he didn't. It was like a lingering injury. Like he played through it, but like apparently he needs like immediate surgery. So yeah, he's gone. America doesn't seem too upset by it.
Yeah.
It seems really stupid though. Like you look back and like they had Josh Dobbs this calendar year,
right?
And now you're stuck with PJ Walker, who's like 1 in 5 touchdown interception ratio.
They're starting Dorian Thompson-Robinson on Sunday, a rookie from Florida, I think.
Yeah, no, it's gonna get rough for them. Yeah. But I think we've seen like a pattern with the Ravens. Like when they played the Cardinals a week or two ago, like they were blowing them out the water, and then they put up like 2 or 3 scores in the fourth because like they kind of checked out for the game. And I get the same sense with this. Like you had an injured Deshaun Watson playing, and like they had a really big lead going into the half, and they thought they were just gonna ride into the sunset.
Yeah.
And I don't think they finish games the way they start.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, and I think like low-key, I'm not sure what it is because I'm looking at stats and like Lamar threw the ball pretty well. I mean, those 2 picks though, like you got to be better with the football.
Yeah.
And it's like they didn't really run the ball at all. Like I'm looking, Gus Edwards, 11 carries for 24 yards. Like that's a terrible mark. And they just got nothing out of the run game, and that doesn't surprise me that they blew a lead like that because you weren't able to run and sit on the clock. So that's very troublesome for Baltimore, I feel like, especially on a day where you put up 31 and your offense was putting your defense in bad positions late in the game. That's worrisome, especially when Lamar has done this in the past. Like I love Lamar. I always will defend him, but he's done this like too much. The thing is, like Hurts did it a couple times this year where he was just making a couple bad decisions in a game, but now he's already cleaning it up, and like he's on the path where like it's back to he's not making those mistakes routinely. And the thing is with Lamar, it's like kind of up and down, you know. He does this pretty consistently at times.
Yeah, he kind of has like a cycle, and we'll see at the end of the year, like if he stays healthy. But that'll be key because like they're in prime position to win the division right now.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see moving forward.
And that was a big game too. When you mentioned the division, that was a big game. You could be at 8-2 right now with a stranglehold, a 3-1 record in your division. Like that was a big game for them.
It's crazy that the Bengals are last place in the division too.
Yeah, makes no sense.
No,
I feel like they're going to be like the AL East of the NFL too, because the AL East had all those teams above a 500, and then none of them like made it, or none of them won a playoff series. And I wouldn't be surprised if none of the AFC North teams won a playoff game.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, even Cincinnati.
At this rate, because they're not going to get home field probably, no matter what happens. No. We can move into the Niners and Jags game. So Niners are back. I'm looking right now if Debo played. I don't think he did.
Yeah, no, Debo played.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, that explains a lot then.
Yeah.
So yeah, Brock Purdy had a great performance, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He didn't really get pressured at all. 88 QBR. McCaffrey was back to business as usual, although he didn't get his touchdown in like 16 straight games, was it?
Right,
yeah, like that was the win for Jacksonville. But Trevor Lawrence, like he's been a very weird player this year. Like he's not playing well, especially from a fantasy standpoint. Like I got rid of him a while ago.
No, I agree. And this is why I appreciate Jalen Hurts so much more too. It's like he was able to take that leap when he was at a certain level in 2021, and then he was able to take the next leap,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's continuing it now. It shows how hard it is for a QB to do that because Trevor Lawrence is a highly touted quarterback in the league, and I feel like a lot of people had high expectations for him coming into the year, and he's just not really living up to it right now. And it's like he's not playing bad. Like,
do you think he hit his ceiling though?
No.
Or do you think he's near it?
I think he's near it.
Okay.
But I think there's another level because I think he'll only be better in the next 3 to 5 years. I think he'll only be better than he is right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure how much better he'll be because this year was going to be a big year for him. And he has showed flashes. He's had a couple good games, but nothing like this. Honestly, it feels like 2018 Carson Wentz. Because, I'm just drawing the Doug Peterson comparison. And it's that year Wentz was, good, but worse than he was.
I wouldn't go that far. We're not seeing him turn into Carson.
No, I don't want to say that. I'm just saying, in terms of statistical and performance-wise.
Okay.
I just think it was that kind of year. Where, okay to good.
Okay.
And, not... But, people expect... after 2017, people expected Carson Wentz to be back to where he was.
Yeah.
Fair or not fair, that's what they expected. And then Trevor Lawrence, after last year, people were like, oh, he's going to take this massive leap. He got Calvin Ridley. Doug Peterson is QB Jesus. And Trevor Lawrence is going to be an MVP candidate. And he's nowhere near an MVP candidate.
No.
I mean, he's not even the best QB in his division right now. Would you agree with me? CJ Stroud is better than him.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of who else is in there for a second.
Yeah,
he's probably the best quarterback this year, CJ.
Yeah.
I think it's a good time to move into that game.
Yeah, that was... I'm shocked. I went into that saying Texans will put up a fight, but no way they win the game.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. That was an unbelievable performance from Stroud.
Oh, yeah.
And all those guys, I mean, the defense didn't play that well, but they also made a couple plays when they needed to.
Yeah, it's really weird, just coming to the realization that him and Sam Howell are the pass yard leaders for this year. And the young talent of athletes in Texas is insane.
Yeah.
Literally insane. Obviously, I thought Stroud would be good, but, he's just blowing every single expectation out of the water.
Right.
I don't, Aiden was saying, I remember last week, Aiden was this team hasn't really went through adversity. I don't see it happening if you're going to beat these really dangerous opponents the way you just did.
Right, yeah.
And, granted, they're, not as great as they usually are this year, but, they should have won that game the way they played.
Agreed, yeah. Definitely. And the thing is, I'm going to speak for the Texans because you were talking about, adversity. And Aiden brought up that good point where they were young and they haven't really been tested in the league. Well, that's your test right there. And it's they showed that they can hang with anyone. And ironically, they remind me of that 2021 Bengals team where was young, not as young as Stroud, but still, I think that was his second year.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase in his first year. And the Texans don't really have a weapon as good as Jamar Chase, but that's just kind of where that team feels for me, where they're putting up insane stat numbers as a young squad, and they're beating good teams. I mean, it's not like they have so many good wins on their resume. I'm just going to run through their schedule. But, I mean, they beat Jacksonville. That was a good win.
Yeah.
That was a good win by a lot. They smashed the Steelers, who are 6-3. So that's 2 6-3 teams they beat. They beat New Orleans, Tampa Bay, which, But then, beating that Bengals team, too, which is a 5-4 team. And better than a 5-4 team. That's an impressive resume, in my opinion. And I'm impressed with this team. I'm excited to see where they finish because I think they'll be in the playoffs. Yeah. Because I'm looking here, they have Arizona. Which, I mean, it's not so, I don't think it's a just blow it off kind of game. I think Arizona will put up a fight, especially with Kyler.
Oh, yeah, he played great.
But yeah, Houston should win. They should beat, I mean, if you destroyed Jacksonville on the road, you should beat them again.
Yeah.
You should beat Denver, I feel like. I feel like they should beat the Jets. They should beat the Titans. They should beat the Browns now. Titans again, Colts. Those are all winnable games. Those are all games I feel like the Texans are going to win. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying they're going to win out, but individually.
Yeah. It does help, though, when their RB2 gets 150 yards.
Yeah.
I feel like most of the top running backs didn't even like reach that ceiling this year. Like it's just a different landscape.
It's weird from Singletary. We haven't really seen a game like that from him.
Yeah, because he was on the Bills for so long, and their run game was awful when he was there. Yeah. Thinking, is there another game?
We should do Lions Chargers. That was
okay. Yeah, finish off there.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Yeah, Lions Chargers. Keenan Allen has, in my opinion, has been a top 5 receiver this year.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably rank him 4, honestly. If I would go Hill, AJ, Jamar, Keenan.
CD.
Oh, yeah. CD Keenan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Keenan's had an amazing year. He's another guy who's like almost turned back the clock because last year it looked like he was on a decline a little bit.
Wasn't he injured a lot last year?
Yeah. It was like nagging stuff. So like he would miss like 1 or 2, come back, get hurt in that game, miss the next one, that kind of thing. And I mean, it's crazy how many games Herbert will play like amazing in and the Chargers will lose. Like you could run through so many games. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head, but I can't. But I just, we've seen this plenty of times where he's just putting up crazy numbers and they're losing the game. His defense can't buy him a break. I mean,
4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 323 yards. Yeah. Damn.
And like the thing is, Goff low-key had a better game, like better completion percentage, more yards, less touchdowns, both the less picks, a higher rating. I was very impressed with the Lions and Goff in particular.
Yeah.
That's not a good defense. The Chargers are a terrible defense, but it doesn't diminish anything that Goff did. He looked really good, and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah,
absolute free. Like
I kind of want to put him in my top 5 receivers. Honestly,
St. Brown for fantasy,
he might be 6.
Yeah.
I'll put him 6.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to put him over CD. And actually, I'll put him over Keenan. No, I'm not going to put him over Keenan yet.
I feel like they might be interchangeable.
Yeah,
because he's having an insane year.
Yeah,
and like that, it shows with the Lions having that record and everything. Like all these guys are so important. I'm so impressed with Laporta. I'm impressed with Gibbs and Montgomery.
Yeah,
and like I said, I'm impressed with Goff too. Goff has looked like a completely different guy than he's looked better than he ever did in LA, in my opinion.
He never looked amazing in LA though.
No, he never did. Never. But he still got paid, remember?
Yeah.
He still got paid.
And went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to underestimate the Lions team, but I have a feeling they would crumble if the run game doesn't show up.
Yeah.
That is the staple of the team.
Yeah, I hear you. The thing is, when the Lions play a team like the Chargers, they can get into a shootout with them and be comfortable in a way. And the Chargers obviously can't do that. But when the Lions are going to play a tougher team, like the tougher teams in their conference, which in my opinion, Philly, San Fran, and Dallas are better than Detroit right now. I know records don't really say, but I just think off of feel and talent, I feel like those 3 are better than Detroit. Yeah. Not by a lot, but I think they are. I think they're all very close on the top 4. But I think Detroit might crumble against those teams, especially if they have to go on the road.
Oh, yeah.
Which they might have to for San Fran and Philly, but it's looking right now definitely Philly. They will have to go on the road. They could catch them. Detroit could catch the Eagles.
They could, but the Eagles won their toughest game so far, and if they win this Monday against the Chiefs,
but dude, look at the Lions. Listen to the Lions schedule: Bears, Packers, Saints, Bears, Broncos, Vikings, Cowboys, Vikings. It's
they're gonna win all but one of those games.
Right, yeah. So the Philly has to keep up with that.
Yeah.
So. And their schedule's obviously way tougher because Chiefs, Bills, Niners, Dallas, Seattle, Giants, Cardinals, Giants, which is insanely tough until the end. So Philly's going to have to go 4-1 over these next 5, which are their toughest games of the year so far. It's going to be hard for them, but I mean, they can do it, obviously. They're the best team in football right now. They can do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think we're done with the NFL. We can move into the NBA. We might get done before Aiden finishes this game.
Yeah.
But I think it's easy to start with the Warriors-Timberwolves game last night.
Yeah.
So this, at the time, was a highly anticipated matchup because the Timberwolves so far have been amazing. No, all because of Anthony Edwards for the most part. Like, he's an MVP candidate right now. And a minute into the game, Klay Thompson decides to hold on to Jared Vanderbilt's jersey and like rip it.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah, like that was all Klay's fault.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, because like how he just like was holding him and then McDaniels retaliated it. Almost.
Yeah.
Like I hate when the NFL and NBA do this. Like I hate when they get the guy that retaliates. That's so dumb, in my opinion.
I think Klay knew what he was doing though, because like McDaniels kind of does have a history of being a hothead, and like it was so unprovoked. Like, I think there's a weird identity crisis that goes on with the Warriors when like Steph isn't playing.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to like feed into the narrative, but Draymond looks lost without him.
Yeah.
And I'm not even really mad at him for what he did. I mean, obviously he was in the wrong. I think it's great for the league though that like someone's kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
But it like seems like he, in his mind, like as that was going on, he's like, I'm either gonna choke out Cat or Gobert, whichever one of them is closer to me, and he did it. Like Gobert wasn't even like the closest teammate helping Vanderbilt in that situation. He just had in his mind, okay, I'm going after Gobert, and got suspended 5 additional games after the fact. I thought that was a little light, but I don't know. Like
I think it's fair.
Yeah, it's fair. I didn't know this, but he got thrown out 2 out of his last 3.
Yeah.
And he leads the league of current players with 17 ejections in the regular season.
Yeah.
So I think it's great for basketball, but it'll be a good rivalry to look at for the couple other times they play each other.
And the Timberwolves look pretty tough right now. Like they are a nice squad. I'm looking 8-2 record right now. I like them. I like them a lot. I love Anthony Edwards. Towns is a consistent player, and Gobert is having a better year than he did. Like I feel like he's I feel like he's accepting a different role. Yeah, which is better for their team. He's more of like just lob me, I'll set screens and rebound kind of guy, which I don't think he was really before.
No, I mean it.
I think he was looking to do more.
Yeah, you need a year to like figure all that stuff out.
The other thing is you don't want to pay that guy $200 million.
No.
So that was a terrible move by Minnesota still, but you need to salvage something. If he's going to be a positive on the court for you, I don't think it really matters as of now, the money stuff. You can kind of think about that later. Because, I mean, if you think about it, if he plays well this year, he can opt out of a deal or something like that. They can kind of work him out of the situation. Yeah. And he can find a new contract somewhere else, you know, maybe a buyout agreement, something like that. So I think you need to salvage something out of this because Gobert is really turning into more of an Andre Drummond than top 10 center in the league.
Yeah. I feel like he hasn't been actually, the center position is very not populous, so he would still be a top 10 player, but that isn't saying much, really.
Well, like, do you remember the days when it was like Embiid versus Gobert for the top 2 centers in the league? Like, that was a sad time.
Yeah, that's a very sad time. I am looking at, I think this is really interesting. So the Timberwolves are playing the Suns right now, and I saw a report that the Big Three was going to play tonight. I'm not seeing Bradley Beal playing.
Let me check mine. Oh, this is tonight?
Yeah, like, he's not in the starting lineup.
Yeah, I don't see that.
How do you build chemistry if you're not even going to play with each other? Yeah, right. Like, it's not going to work this year. I also don't think I said this last week, the Clippers aren't going to work either, besides James Harden saying, oh, when we figure this out, it's going to get scary. Like, you said that about the Nets, and you didn't play with either of the 2 teammates. Yeah. That you hyped up were going to win the championship with you.
I've really never seen James Harden run his mouth this much anywhere. Like, well, no, I shouldn't say anywhere. In Houston. I feel like he ran his mouth in Philly and LA now. Like, way more than he ever really did. And Brooklyn, too.
I think he's, like, kind of embracing the villain role because, like, everyone loved him in Houston. Yeah. Besides me. I knew the future from... Am I wrong? I've been saying he's a bum since 2016.
Well, he's not a bum, so...
Close enough.
You were wrong.
Close enough. Okay, you know what? You take him on your team when you're in the playoffs and tell me he's not. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like they haven't won with Harden yet, though. The Clippers. Yeah, that's Mm-hmm.
With all that talent, like, it makes no sense, honestly.
No, and like you have Kawhi and PG, and like you want Harden taking 20 seconds off the clock and just passing it to one of them. Like, no, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Like, even if Harden really feels like he is the system, that was the worst team to like announce that to, because like
they already had a system.
Yeah, and you're gonna be so much less involved.
He's like tone deaf or some shit.
Like, he said he was very limited in Philly. Like, I wonder how he's gonna feel like 40 games into the Clippers season.
How does that make any sense? Like, Harden definitely had like the most touches on the team.
Yeah.
Like, the offense was almost catered to Harden when he came.
Yeah, the Sixers always cater to the bad attitudes too, and like I wouldn't be surprised if like he doesn't even get through like a full 82 games before he wants out of that team. Honestly,
yeah.
Like I don't know why he wanted to go there anyway. Like, there was no benefit for James Harden being on the Los Angeles Clippers. Like,
I agree. I think it might be because he's from LA, but that's like the only reason I can draw up. Like, I don't know why he would want to go play with Westbrook again when it didn't work.
Yeah.
The second time, I guess, because it worked the first time, but the second time it didn't.
No, I forgot they teamed up.
Dude, think about how long ago that was.
Wait, didn't they team up like 3 times?
No, it was.
Oh wait, shit!
Thunder first, and then Rockets, and then now. And
okay. Yeah. I thought he was on the Wizards for whatever reason, but no.
Harden?
Yeah, no, my brain farted. But did you see that Kelly Oubre was like? I guess he's not familiar with the area, and like the police are saying that like he might be falsifying this whole thing.
Yeah, I think that's just a rumor, to be honest.
Yeah, that's so bad on the police for like publicizing that.
Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no way in hell he made that shit up.
No.
Like,
because that makes no sense. How would he get all those injuries then? Like, did he get beat up? Why wouldn't he say that? You know what I mean? Like, he didn't falsify that.
No.
And I think that's just people running with a theory. But yeah, you're right. It's like bad on the police, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take one last look at the standings. I mean, Celtics beat the Sixers, so they're now the first seed in the East. Shocker. Yep. I'm not really buying the Bucks this year.
Neither am I. No.
Like, I don't think it's gonna be a good fit.
Yeah,
those two.
Neither. And it's kind of weird because I don't know why. I think it might be because Lillard is more of an isolation guy and Giannis is kind of more of like, I'm going to set you a pick and roll guy.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But I don't know. They don't have depth. Like,
no.
I like Philly, Miami, and Indiana over them.
Not Indiana. Stop it. Stop it. No. I would put the Sixers over them.
I do put the Sixers over them.
But
I think, like, I'm looking. I think the East is, right now, how the top 5 is ordered, I think that is the top 5. Indiana is going to keep it up on you. They have a good team.
I mean, of the rest of the bunch, sure, but like...
The thing is, Indiana shoots the ball really well, and like they give me like a Miami Heat feel, where like Halliburton is that level of a player that Jimmy Butler is, and he has guys around him that just spray it everywhere, you know?
I just think it means a little less, like, just looking at the rest of the East, because, like, they're better than the Knicks. They're better than the Nets.
They're better than everyone below 5,
Yeah. If Cleveland... Actually, no. Cleveland looks really dysfunctional.
I never liked them, and, like, everyone was so high on them. I was like, I don't know if I really like them all that much.
Well...
Against good teams. And now they're kind of, like, middle of the pack.
I think it's so damn hard, like, rebuilding in basketball, because, they have a lot of great guys, but, like, if you don't click together, there's no point of it.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't think they click together, whereas the Thunder, I think they click really well, because you got a bunch of, like, guys doing different things, and I think Garland and Mitchell are, like, 2 very close players, and, like, just a bunch of, like, guys that are trying to make a name for themselves. Like, I feel like even guys like Harris LeVert just have, like, a minimized role in that team just because of, like, everyone's fighting to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So, I think one of them's going to go this year, for
Mitchell
sure. Or Garland,
I
think Mitchell. Mitchell,
Yeah. Because I think they want to roll with Garland. That's the guy they drafted.
Yeah, and he's way younger.
Yeah.
Way younger. Do you have anything else?
I was going to say something. Penn State normal casual loss to a big team.
Yeah, they don't. They're like the Miami Dolphins. They don't beat anyone good.
Yeah. Yeah. College basketball starting. Duke got upset, which is very happy for me. They got upset by not JMU. I forget who they got upset by, but fuck them. I hate Duke. So yeah, that's all I got.
All right. No Aiden today. All right. We'll see you guys.